Hello, my fellow nerds, and thanks again for watching another episode of Nerd Boy Gaming. I am Nerdboy81. At the time of recording this, it is April 1st, and this is no joke, but Wildcard officially launched a title almost on time. They originally said March 31st, but on Friday's crunch, they said, hey, we're going to do it April 1st. I never thought if you told me 5 hours ago that this was going to launch, I'd have told you absolutely not a chance in the world. It's going to be delayed. They had one delay of 2 hours, and the game came out essentially on time. So I've held off on the state of the Ark for March specifically for this day. I wanted to see what was going to happen with Scorched Earth and if it was going to make it on time or not. So this is the Ark State of the March and my first impressions playing Ark Survival Ascended. So hop on in, let's buckle up and talk a little bit about Ark Survival Ascended Scorched Earth. As I mentioned, the game did drop. I got it downloaded. It is a big download. It's about 40 gigs, I think is what I roughly got in there. It took a bit to download, got it downloaded, was able to actually play today. And I want to share with you guys my first impressions of Ark Survival Ascended. And then at the end of this video, we'll talk a little bit about the Bob's Tall Tales, where Ark goes from here, and if this is the redemption arc or what we think is going to happen as the game continues to progress. So let's start, though, with my first impressions of Ark Survival Ascended Scorched Earth. I got about an hour and a half in, and what I'm going to do is I'm just going to play in the background now some of that time. My first impressions, and I'm trying not to be negative. I am trying to be positive. I like to be positive about games. Just like ASE The Island, I am still not extremely impressed with these graphics. I think there's too much foliage, especially for a desert biome. I think the big cliffs and stuff look really nice. I think the quality of life improvements are still really nice from AE to ASA for console users without mods. But generally, I'm not super impressed. The clouds still remind me of an oil painting. They're very pixelated. They're very smudgy. The plants felt overgrown. Now, maybe I played as a small character when I set it up. I just literally said, go, go, go. I didn't really spend any time creating a character. So maybe it started off as I started off as a smaller character, but it felt like the plants were really overgrown. The water still not super impressive to me, and there are still some things there. But the thing that really, I think, caused me to be the thing that I think I liked the least about it was the heat waves. I've never been in a desert dying of thirst or hunger, but I can tell you we were in the desert. It was very hot. My character had full food and water, but yet the bending of light was ridiculous. It was a little over the top. Too much, in my opinion. As hot as it was, I don't think it was that hot to have that much bending of light from the heat. So I felt like that was a little bit overkill. And the time I played, in the hour and a half, I only had 2 storms. Both were rainstorms, and the rocks looked really nice when it's wet. I mean, it did look nice. I think it looks good. I think it looks okay. But it ran really well on my Xbox. We'll see when I log in the next time if my progress was saved or not. I'm not 100% certain they fixed that on the island, so we'll see if that's still there with Scorched Earth. But I'm going to go out on a limb and guess that if you are playing on a high-end rig, I'm running on an Xbox Series X, but if you're playing on a higher-end rig, that you're going to have a better experience than somebody who's playing just on an Xbox Series X or someone who's just in the entry-level graphical requirements for this game. It's still not optimized as well as it could be, and it still doesn't look as crisp and clean as I'd like it to look. It's still, in my opinion, this is my opinion, Red Dead Redemption 2 still looked like a better look. It still looks better, in my opinion. Now, that's not to take away from some of the positives here. Wildcard released their game on time. Wildcard has done some patches and I'm sure is going to work on this. There are some really good things about that. The game does look relatively nice. And for a console player who's never ran mods before, this is a really nice quality of life. There's still something very nice about, in fact, my favorite too, and I said it on my stream tonight, there's 2 things that I really liked about the quality of life for ASA from ASE on a console without mods. the ability to put things down and then pick them up. And in the little, when you're taming a creature, there's the two little bars, one that's the torpo and the other one's the taming progress. Being able to graphically see those without having to go into another screen was really nice. Those are the two big ones for me. The building is obviously much more streamlined and that stuff, but it was essentially just like the island. I have been playing ASE's Scorched Earth recently. And I thought it looked pretty good. It's crisp, it's clean, it doesn't have an abundance of detail, but it looked pretty good. I played ASA SE. I think it looks good. I'm going to have fun playing it. I'm going to continue to play probably this for a little while for my first time playing, and I'll probably give up on poor old Krug from SE and just pick up from here. The bummer is that I actually had gotten some pretty decent tames that I'm going to be sad to miss. And I went through kind of a fun little journey over there. But all in all, I think it looks good. So my first impressions of ASA's SE, I think it looks good. The rocks look nice. I don't think it looks spectacular. I don't think it's this amazing overhaul. And so all in all, I feel like, it's decent. I'm going to enjoy playing it. I was already playing it on ASE, but I like the quality of life improvement, so I'll play it on ASA. I still don't love the water. I think the clouds aren't great, and I haven't seen a lot of the other. I didn't see all the creatures. Didn't necessarily look any better. The raptors still look cool, but all in all, that's what I saw. But with that, there's a few other things that come with this launch, and that's the state of Ark. Where are we, and what are we looking at? Well, first, they also launched with ASA SE. They also launched Bob's Tall Tales. It has a US dollar price of $29.99, and you get all the story elements plus what was originally what I think was being referred to as the Frontier Pack cosmetics. Now, I don't know if I misheard this. I don't know if I misread this. I don't know exactly why I had this in my head, but I had in my head that when they were remastering or remaking Ark, ASA for SE, that they were adding new story elements, new caves, and an actual kind of story and boss to go with ASA SE. That was what I understood to be the case. However, I did not think that was going to be behind a paywall. I felt like that was going to be included, and that all that was going to drop for the Frontier Pack was going to be cosmetics, or in some cases, what some have been referring to as pay-to-win stuff, like the Oasis Sword. I said dynamite, like that was going to make a difference, but the Oasis Sword, dynamite, shovels, trains, and things along those lines. Oasis Sword being the big, like, hey, is this a pay-to-win mod? But now they've also included the story elements with that. Now, for $29.99, you get the story elements, you get the Frontier Pack, essentially, and you get to follow that story into Aberration and Extinction when those maps come. And my grief on this is a little bit around the price tag of $30, but it's also the idea that I'm going to pay for content that I may never see. And what I mean by that is Aberration and Extinction, it's possible I may not still be a player of Ark when those maps drop. Maybe I will be, maybe I won't be. It's possible that something happens in the world and Wildcard never gets those maps out. But here I am paying $30 for content that I can't use right now. It's only 1/3 of an update. What I would have rather them done, or what might have been a good idea, is to say for $12, for instance, you can get all of the Scorched Earth content. And then on the next map, you'd have to spend another $12 for that content. And on the next map, $12 for that one. So on Aberration and Extinction, you'd have to pay $12. Or you could pay $30 today and get all three of those now. Because where I think I'm leery as a consumer is what stops them when Extinction comes to say, hey, you had Bob's Tall Tales, but for $10 more, here's all the cosmetics. And when Aberration comes out, or Extinction, or whichever one next, here is Bob's Tall Tales, but you also have another $10 to spend for the cosmetics. We don't know that the cosmetics in those future packs are going to be included. We just don't know. So I'm a little bit leery about that. I really wish they would have given us an opportunity to break those up. I kind of told myself, if I'm going to spend $30 on a game, I'm going to go buy Baldur's Gate, a game I haven't played that I want to play, versus a DLC for a story element that, honestly, Ark isn't really it's not about the story at this point. So that's a little bit of a frustration for me, because I really thought that these new story elements were going to be free as part of this map for ASA. So that kind of is a bit of a bummer. The other big news for Ark as the month of March comes to an end is the game is now available on Game Pass, which is great. I could be a little bit chapped that I spent $45 when it first released, but I'm going to let that go because it was my choice to spend the $45, but I didn't know it was going to be coming on Game Pass, but it doesn't matter. I'm glad it's here, and it's good for the game. It's good for the community that it's available for Game Pass. So if you've never played Ark and you want to jump in, now's a great time to do it. You got 2 maps to play. You've got some content. There's some great mods you can load. You've got some good quality of life improvements, and you've got decent graphics to play this game. Now, if you're a long-term veteran player, I still feel for you. I still don't think that this is a good path for ASA for you guys. I don't think it's brought much to the game. I don't think the graphics are worth it. And honestly, you guys already had all these mods that are just now coming. And so, yeah, you didn't have cross-platform if you're like a long-term PC player. If you're new on Xbox or PC, or if you're playing even a long-term on Xbox or PlayStation, this is great because you get the mods, you get the quality of life improvements, and those things are fantastic. So what does this mean for Ark Survival Ascended as it leaves March and comes into April? A couple of things we need to look at, which is the roadmap. When is the next content going to come out? Because veteran players who have played Scorched Earth will have a time where they begin to say, yeah, I've played this. The quality of life isn't that much better. I had all these mods. I've experienced the remaster isn't that amazing to keep me around. And when does the next content come out? And the problem is that all this content is remade content, not new content. But I would guarantee you, if you look at Steam right now, it is now moved up to 40th. It's at 21,000 concurrent players. Currently, its all-time peak was at 21,770. I guarantee we're going to see those numbers be pretty good for them for the next few days. Those are going to pull in some good numbers. And I think we might even see that grow a little bit because it's a new map and people are excited for the new map. And some people maybe have not played this. Maybe those who were playing the island are now excited to move to Scorched Earth. Like a content creator like Butch just finished the island on ASA and now he's ready to go to Scorched Earth. So the real question is going to come, what comes of Ark at this point? Well, if you look at their roadmap, they got ASA out in October. They got Survival of the Fittest out. Then they've released recently the animated series, which isn't really gameplay, but could create some allure to the game. And then they got Scorched Earth out in March. The next map is supposed to drop in May, which is the center. Now, if they could bring the center in May, that would be a huge win because that means if it was like early May specifically, that means 1 month for Scorched, 1 month for May. Then that would give them 2 months for Ark Aberration, and then 2 more months for Ragnarok, and then 2 months for Ark Extinction, and then 1 month, something new, which is the big one, would hit in November 2024 for the holiday season. That could be a really big time for Ark. And then there's Valguro, and then we're into 2025 with Genesis, Crystal Isle, Ark Genesis 2, Lost Island, Fjord, and maybe Ark 2 at some point down that road. If they can manage to follow this roadmap to the end, this is the beginning of what could be a redemption story for Ark Survival Ascended. There's a lot of things that can get in the way. I don't know if ASA SE, if Scorched Earth is going to be playable on PC. We'll have to wait and see what that looks like, how the bugs are worked out, if the optimization gets better. But for me, on Xbox, it looked pretty good. It played well. But the real question is going to be, can they follow this roadmap? And can the center come out in early May and give another map at a quick turnaround? You get that pop with Scorched Earth. Now you've got 3 maps to play. You've got some premier mods with some good maps. And the game is starting to finally get its footing. But for me, the big question mark, the one that I think is super important for Ark as a whole, is going to be the surprise in November 2024 around the holiday season. If this is a new map or new content, it can't just be a new dino. It's got to be like a new map. That is, I think, when this game could be fully flying and be back to the Ark that SE was, that ASE was. I think it has a potential, but if Scorched Earth if it happens to be buggy, or if people can't play it, if Nitrado servers aren't up, they can't get the official servers going, if things like that happen, or we have to continue to do rollbacks, or there's rampant cheating, those are going to be the stories that are going to take over the fact that they actually got a map out on time as part of their plan, and it should give us hope for the rest of these maps. Now, I still hope that ASA gets better optimized, that the clouds get cleaner, that the water gets better, that they just continue to do a better job of making the game perform at a higher level on console and some lower end PCs, because unless you're running a high-end rig, you're really not getting the true value of Unreal Engine and what this game could look like. At least that's what it seems to me. But I don't know, guys. What do you think? Did you get a chance to play Scorched Earth tonight? And if you did, what did you think? Like I said, I got about an hour and a half in. I'm excited to play some more. I think it's going to be good. So if you like it, let me know. Leave a comment below. And of course, guys, if you're new here and you haven't done so, make sure you do hit that subscribe button. It really does help the channel. I know it has been a little bit of a delay putting out content, and I apologize for that. I'm actually in the middle of a second project, and I'm not abandoning this channel by any means. I'm just trying to figure out the workflow here. I'm trying to make better content for here and less let's play type stuff. But I did start a second channel called Vintage Movie Nights. There's a link to it in the description below. There's only 2 videos up. I watch vintage movies with my buddy Ryan. We watch vintage movies, we react to them, we review them, we ask, does the movie stand the test of time? There's a lot of things going on there, but it's taken me a little bit to figure out the workflow, my time, and how to truly manage 2 channels with the limited time I have. But it is something I'm excited to do, and I'm glad I get to share it with you. But I do promise there will be more content coming here. I will catch back up eventually, but right now I'm just kind of working on some of the workflow. The challenges in watching movies and reacting to them is copyright issues, and I'm learning to edit around those and work that out. So once I get good at that, these things will continue to go. There'll be more content to come. So make sure you hit the subscribe button. We're going to continue to play Ark. We have more gaming stuff in the works, and we're going to be starting a whole new run through of Scorched Earth, which has only about 8 hours on the old one. So now we're going to pick it up all the way new. I did my first hour and 20 minutes on Twitch, which you can actually head over to the Twitch account and you can watch those live there if you want, or wait for the edit to come here. It was a little bit rough, to be honest with you. I think in an hour and 20 minutes, I didn't kill a single creature. I still don't have any hide, but I did start a nice little base on top of a rock. So I think this is a lot of fun to come. But guys, thank you so much. Make sure you hit the like button. Make sure you subscribe. If you want, share this video. I really do appreciate it. And until next time, everyone, I hope you have a great day.